Det er tid til noget Tom og noget Clancy og noget Division. Also have a couple of user questions where Lars Ole would like to know how much single player and co-op content we can expect. Like how big is the world and what's the level cap?
So being an open world game, and if you played an open world game before, you know that there's a tremendous amount of difference in playtime depending on if you only go for the main mission and all the main story mission and really push to get through the center only, or if you decide to do every single little side activity and explore every nook and cranny of this vast open world. It is a tremendously bigger amount of play hours that it takes before you finish the game. And even then, since we have the game doesn't stop after you've completed the campaign, after you've reached the end level, which is level 30, by the way, it's the max level, because we do want the players to be able to take their character that they've invested in and continue playing. So the Dark Zone, which is the sort of the multiplayer-enabled space, is going to provide you with a challenge even after you reach the max level. And then in addition to that, we also have some exciting activities for you to do that is not in the multiplayer space, but rather in the PvE side of things as well. Also when you reach the end game. So there's a lot of game to be had.
You mentioned the Dark Zone, and Mikkel would like to know how many people you can be in the Dark Zone at the same time.
So the Dark Zone, which is the center of the map that you and your group can sort of seamlessly walk into. The scary thing in there is that you will have enemies, so NPCs just like in the normal open world, but you will also be able to run into other players. And to keep that exciting and to make that a scary event when that happens, we want to keep the density quite low. So we don't want it to be a crowd in there. With one exception, which is when you do make a lot of noise, when you do extract, which is when you launch your flare to call in the helicopter to bring out your contaminated items, so that you get to keep them, otherwise you might lose them in the Dark Zone if you get killed. Then you might attract, let's say, a handful up to 10 people, and that's sort of what we're aiming at. But to reach those numbers, we're going to have to fill the Dark Zone with much more people because, so it's an average, right? So right now, the number of people we're going to be putting in there is about 20, 24, but they're never going to be 24 people in the... I mean, we're not targeting for them to be in one spot because that's not the gameplay we're looking for. I mean, once in a blue moon they might accidentally end up, but it's not that's not what we're aiming for. But we need to fill it up with enough people for you to have that right mix that makes it exciting to meet other players.
Christian, he had a big problem with Destiny where there was if one of your friends got ahead of you and got to a higher level than you would get locked off for some content. Is it possible for you to play everything no matter what level you and your friends have? Like for example, if your friend is level, I don't know, 15 and you're only level 7, is there stuff you can't do because of your low level?
We always want to allow players to play together. I mean, if you manage to be online at the same time, you should always be allowed to play together. So if you have characters of vastly different level, I mean, we recommend that if you know you're going to play a lot together and somebody joins, we recommend that you create a new character because it's much more fun if you're roughly the same level. But we do, of course, allow you to play any of the content, no matter, so you can group up and be in a group even if you're max level and level 1. But the missions and is going to be the difficulty is going to be set for the highest level player. So you're not going to be able to contribute much as the low level player.
Men det var de spørgsmål, vi har fået svar på. Glæder du dig til spillet? Hvad synes du er fedt ved det? Skriv din mening lige hernede.